Hey, what's up, Berg?
I am good. So I am Robert Ferguson, and this is
Barbara, Chris,
okay. Robert Chris also goes by BK.
BK.
We're doing this impromptu live to share with you information that 100% kept me up late at night, and it kept me up for good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was emotional reasons for me, um, and that's because of many things that we'll share in a very short period of time that I believe will help people start to look at things a little differently.
All
Um,
right.
so I know that's being vague because it is vague. So I'm going to kind of just, I want to start by one, sharing with everyone what took place, and you were there.
Yes.
So for those of you who are listening in, it was myself, Barbara Chris, and Morgan, who is our new executive assistant and works with us here on a regular basis. So the three of us were set up to interview Dr. Sabine Hazan.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Sabine is I'm going to say some of this incorrectly, I'm sure, but she's a gastroenterologist. Her
Mm-hmm.
background is impeccable. She has
Yes.
a clinic that's not far from where we're located.
Mm-hmm.
She specializes in doing clinical trials. She's FDA, I'm gonna say approved because everything she does is within the guidelines of the compliancy of what the FDA would want.
Mm-hmm.
She's a doctor, and she's been doing this for well over 20 years. And I refer to her as the queen of the microbiome.
Yes.
She about it, and she definitely, after meeting her like almost 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
took my knowledge and understanding of the microbiome. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's your intestinal tract, the microbes that are all over us and inside of us.
Yeah.
Is the newest and most progressive science in the medical field that is unveiling so many things. She
Mm-hmm.
is an expert in that, and all of her friends and colleagues are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to this microbiome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay conservative as far as because it helps for people to understand what we're about to share with them, where it's coming from. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not coming from just not just in the, I'm downplaying it like just your average physician. She is so much more. Well, not more like she's better than anyone, but I think you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think what you're also saying too is that her motivation is truly to help people. I mean, that's her motivation behind it, right? I mean, even
right,
off camera, the conversations that we had, she's truly driven by wanting to help humanity and really understanding, yes, the microbiome, but how it works and what we can do to make it work better and what we're doing to actually impair it as well.
right. Now, now with her, and I'm not going to mention certain names or certain things, so you guys are going to have to kind of guess what I'm talking about, and hopefully you get it. But it's the topic of discussion. It's something that we all are dealing with on a regular basis. It's
Hmm.
taking place all over the world, and she's been doing a ton of research, and she has a paper that's getting ready to be made available.
Hmm.
So the world will hear about this. But I know personally she's worked with over 400 people who have had this disease, and she
Hmm.
helped them through it, and not one person has died as a result of her work.
And for treatment, right? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a little bit about her yesterday when I posted a picture that you took of us, and I
Hmm.
had a few people message me and say, "Hey, she worked with my cousin. She worked with my friend. She
Oh.
she helped them with this and that as far as their overall health."
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just want everyone to understand that she is legit,
Hmm.
and I want to frame that around the fact that if I see a physician on a YouTube or I see some physician talking about, this is better than that and everyone's doing it wrong, and the big problem that all those people have, because they can make total sense, right? Whether you're on the left or the right, Okay, because it's not
Right.
political. They can't substantiate. They don't have peer-reviewed studies that support what they're telling people. They just make a
Right.
lot of sense, and they may be educated and they may be licensed, but they don't have real solid data.
Right. And you know, the tough thing though is just like you said, is many of these people they come across as extremely credible. And you know, most people when they see these videos, they don't realize, you know, the difference between what appears to be credible and what truly is, like you said, is has been vetted, has been validated, has been reviewed by peers in the industry. That's a huge difference. And again, that's where she's coming from, and which is I believe is makes her, or not makes her powerful, but her message is extremely powerful in that way.
Well, you can't argue what she's about to bring
Hmm.
forward. I don't care where you stand politically. I don't
Right.
care where you stand on your beliefs. What she's about, and that's what cheered me up and had me like so pumped last night. I called my mom last night and shared with her what I discovered. I called Michael E. Parker last night. I mean, this is after dinner, people are going to bed. I called about 11, 12 people and
Hmm.
share with them what I saw, what I heard, what I understand, because I don't know what they were going to do when they woke up in the morning today. And so if they had a decision, if they were planning to go and get the jab or whatever you want to call it, I just wanted them to know what I was exposed to as soon as I could tell them. And today, with every client that I personally coach, they all are aware of what we experienced yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
know, yeah, it was so powerful. And I know that, you know, after the cameras were turned off, you know, you and I were talking about that. And even for us and what we do, this is so not a political, you know, agenda, right? It's not about who agrees with what. We're all about helping people, you know, getting their healthiest, their happiest. And I think that's why she resonates so well with us when she came in studio, and her message and everything that she's doing, her lab, and you know, all the work that they're doing. It's just, it doesn't matter, right? The differences as far as you know, political differences, it doesn't even matter. I mean, she's really going after public health priorities, right? What's really the benefit for our public health, and that's what really matters.
right, which which what I saw and what I know you saw, and I believe you heard what I heard. My thing would be if all that she's about to go public with is real,
Hmm.
let's say it's real, there's going to be a lot of upset people.
Yeah. You know, the sad thing, you know, not to be a pessimist here, the sad thing is that there's just there's too many, um gosh, what do I say? There's too much. I'm trying to be careful here. Um Interest that would prohibit it from getting to that level. But the
Oh
good
no,
news
no,
is,
people. I believe people are gonna. I'm talking about the average person. I'm talking about. I know people who will argue. They will foam at the mouth. They will like. They will like
oh,
run across the street from you because
oh,
they don't want. I'm talking about what people have been led to believe to be true.
oh, right, okay.
When they see her published paper that is peer reviewed,
Right.
that is legit, you
And still,
cannot argue it when it's peer reviewed and it's legit.
and still, like, they won't go there.
No, they're gonna have to.
Well,
So I'm
and they
telling. Okay,
won't.
so when it's all said and done, Barbara, when it's all said and done, and if it's what we know it to be, how can you not? How
Well,
can you not look at that?
well, it makes sense to you and I think to a lot of people, but you know, even in the work that we do, we could put it all out there, and oftentimes people will believe what they want to believe. They don't want to hear anything else. They don't want to hear anything else that's different. Remember that story I shared with you about how when I was in the aerospace industry, I had this amazing mentor, and he was a toxicologist by training, a great guy, very smart. And one of the key things that he taught me coming in as a green professional in the corporate world is I remember him telling me we would go into these strategizing meetings, with all these people that had all their agendas of what they wanted to do, what they felt was right. And I remember him telling me, he said, you know what, you come to these meetings, you come stacked with your data, you come with your facts, your irrefutable information, right? But also come ready to find a solution that everybody can agree with, everybody can work with, that it helps everyone. Because if you go in just thinking that you're right, you're going to miss the answer that's there in the room, right? And I think a lot of us, when I heard that, and I think about when I coach, and I was thinking about when I was watching you guys do that interview, I thought, gosh, we would be so much better off if we could just step back for a moment and put that, like you're saying, that foaming at the mouth, desire to be right, as opposed to truly listening to and getting truth.
Okay.
Are you there?
Are we good? Am I froze?
All of a sudden, you just went quiet, and I thought maybe I scared you.
No, I guess I just want to make sure that you are and I are in alignment, because if I show you something that's green,
yeah,
and there are a whole bunch of people, peers, that say, yep, it's green, and then we bring in the color specialist, and it's confirmed that it's green, how can you dispute that?
No, I'm saying I agree. I said I
No,
get
and
that,
I'm
there
not
are
saying
people
you.
that will not.
Well, that's because they won't even look at it.
That's exactly my point.
Okay, so I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for people who actually look at it. So let's say they look at it. This is what I believe will happen. So imagine they see, because I know I have clients that are going to be pissed off at a lot of people in this world when they see what you and I are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, right now, even like parts of the government, they're not really sharing the card. They're not showing all the cards because there's not a lot of real solid science that's you can dispute everything that's being said.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes it so difficult for people when they're trying to do their best and weigh the information that's out there, and make the best decisions for their families, for themselves. And that's the battle, right? Because there's so much information out there, and you could see something that you believe, okay, this must be right, and then 2 days later you hear somebody who's refuting that, right? And it just keeps going in these circles and these circles and these circles. That's where it gets so tough I think for most people.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I would say for those who know us,
Mm-hmm.
and if they catch this wherever they catch YouTube, Facebook, hold off until you see the interview with Dr. Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
Just hold off. Don't do anything else until you see the interview with Dr. Sabine.
Yeah.
If they just do that. Like I told my mom, I said, look, I'm going to share this with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you.
How did she take it? How did she
take
that?
Well, my mom, like, as much as we go at it and have fun and battle, my mom respects me. My whole family respects me. For whatever crazy reasons, I'm the one in the family that a lot of my family, they just respect me for my work. And I've always been that way since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Even my uncles, you know what I mean? Like I look up to them, but I can feel that they've always had a respect for me. So they do listen to me. Mm-hmm. Not like I'm the end all be all, because I'm not. And it's not like they're in full agreement with everything, but they do listen. They give me a chance to share what I'm going to share.
That's huge.
Yeah, which is great with your family. Mm-hmm. And so in the end, my mom and I talked about it. And I said, Mom, now that you know, and I can mm-hmm. share with you more, mm-hmm. and she's going to watch the interview with Dr. Sabine also.
Okay.
I said, then you can make whatever decision you want, because if things don't go well for you, because you go against what I believe
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sabine is talking about and what I know to be true,
Mm-hmm.
then hey, I know that at the end of the day, if something unfortunate happens to my mom, I know I told her.
Right. That's I think that's the way, because there's definitely some people I would love to, I'm gonna love sharing this interview with, and I look forward to the conversations that we'll have afterwards. And I agree with you. I agree that there's going to be a lot of people who might be very angry, feeling like they've maybe been misled. But that goes back to thinking at the time, whenever a decision was made to take whatever action they did, if they did or if they didn't, they were going by what their best
Mm.
judgment gave them at the moment, right? That best
Yep.
judgment at the moment. And I think that if we can accept the fact that, hey, that was my best judgment at the moment, either way, we just have to, I believe that we can humble ourselves and be like, hey, we're either wrong, or now we're enlightened, or now we feel like we're more empowered with more information that's out there, validated information that's out there, and now we could just carry on, as opposed to, I think, continuing to use this as a way to be so divisive, you know? I know that it might be like in dreamland to think that way, but I just, gosh, from the start, just, whether you do or you don't, the fact that people are just fighting over that just blows my mind, when truly I think the cause here is public health. And if we can get to the truth of the matter, then shoot, let's just like put all that other crap aside, just get to the truth, you know?
No, I mean, I love what you're saying, and you're right. Many people are making the best decision and have made the best decision for that moment. And it's cool that you say that, because in the world of psychology, there's a whole bunch of cool things that you can learn. And what you just spoke on is something that is a big part of my training, is getting people, like, let's say you have a mom that did some really not so good things years ago. And as a result of that, it set her up to have maybe some people look at her a certain way that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
What we tend to do is we go to that person and we say, hey, look, at that moment in time, that was the best that you could do at that moment.
Absolutely.
So I love that you brought that up. And I want to shift, and I want to go back to just sharing where this information is coming from. 'Cause I'm going to shoot a little video tomorrow to introduce people to Dr. Sabine, and then they'll be able to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I've made it possible where I'm gonna do a preview with my clients, and if you want your clients to have access to this,
For sure.
And I've extended that to any of our coaches if they want to do that, and then eventually we'll make it available on YouTube, and that's where to live, so people can go to our YouTube page and they can subscribe so they don't miss it. I'm hoping to make this available sooner than later, because people are making a lot of decisions. And I wanted to say that what she's about to make available, you guys, she was offered a significant amount of money.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even going to mention the number.
No, but it's generational. Let's put it that way.
And most people wouldn't even, it'd be hard to even believe that.
Yeah.
And because it's funny, right? Because it's coming from you, and I are sharing this before the whole world knows about it.
I know.
Which is mind blowing, right?
I mean, I was sitting there, I was transfixed with her. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, yeah.
Well, so here, this tells you a lot about Dr. Sabine. She did not accept the money.
Nope. And I think there were several, right?
Oh, I'm sure she's probably,
yeah.
I'm literally, as soon as you and I are done talking, I'm going over to her clinic as soon as we're done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I'm sure she's going to tell me that she's probably had many more offers.
Yeah.
But
Robert,
this is, yeah.
No, I was going to say, Robert, it's so interesting because we interviewed her for the Stay Healthy Experience. How long ago?
Well,
less than a year. It was less
than a year. Yeah, we did it during, yeah.
And, she was mind blowing back then, but, now to hear her talking now, or speaking with you yesterday with the additional information that she had since then, as far as her research.
She was doing the studies. So, I mean, we can tell a little bit about You know, we have
Yeah.
about 10 minutes, so we can share a little bit
Yeah.
about it, because I don't want to
But-
give the cow and the milk away.
No, I get it. But I think that what I really would like to leave our listeners and people who are tuning in with is the fact that, you know, what you and I do, you know, and our coaches do as far as helping people get healthier. I mean, we were talking about that, you know, last year you were talking about that, since 1995, you know, we've been preaching this consistently for years and years and years. And I think that people need to hear that what we teach and how we educate people is right on board with what you need to be doing
Oh,
to
absolutely.
absolutely take the best care of yourself. I mean, it is all wrapped into how we coach and how we coach people to eat. It was so powerful. I mean, it was so validating, right? It was just
Well,
like,
you know, it's interesting you say that, because I have a client who I've been working with for about 20 years. And she called, I hadn't talked to her in 2 months. She had a lot going on.
mhm,
And so we connected today and had a coaching session.
mhm,
And then I shared with her about Dr. Sabine and connected that to the way she's eating, etc.
mhm.
And it proves your point. It said, I mean, I've been coaching this lady for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just interesting, because what I introduced her to 20 years ago is totally different than now. And so it's one of those things where, great example of why when you work with you, or you work with me, or any of our coaches, why people do everything you can to keep your coach. Keep
Mhm,
some type of contact, because things constantly change.
mhm.
Same as in the music industry, the dancing industry. You know, Celine Dion still has a voice coach.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jackson had a coach for dance. I mean, this guy is known for dancing.
Mhm.
But let's share a little bit about what people can be excited to learn about,
Okay.
because I want to get this out ASAP, because people, I mean, you know, and it's not going to take long before the world gets it, and they're either going to have to accept that reality, or I don't know what they're going to do, because it's point blank. So with our clients, you guys, and anyone who's working with Barbara, working with me, any of our coaches, we're very clear up front to say that everything that we recommend
Mhm.
is 100% based on you optimizing your gut microbiome,
Mhm.
your intestinal tract.
Yeah.
And Dr. Sabine is going to share information with the world where a lot of how we can improve our health from where we are at this very moment, to how we can deal with all the challenges that are out there,
Uh-huh.
and how we can stay as healthy as possible, and how it's going to shed light on all that's going on with this craziness. That answer is inside of the microbiome.
Yeah. Trust your gut.
Trust your gut,
Mhm.
and it's going to change everything. So I know, like, it's interesting, you know, out of over 8,000 clinical trials has been done on all of these health concerns that are taking place right now.
Mhm.
Only two out of over 8,000 are very clear on certain outcomes that are tied to the microbiome. And over in China is one of them, and one right here in beautiful Southern California with Dr. Sabine, she's the other one.
Right. I was at the Ventura Labs. I was like, wow, right in our backyard. It's amazing.
Right here.
Mhm.
Right here, Ventura.
Around the corner.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so one of the things that they've discovered over in China is that they're not doing nostril
Yes.
testing. They're doing anal
Anal swabs.
swabs,
Like, woo.
because you can 100% confirm that you have it. And with the work that Dr. Sabine is doing, you can do the same, but there's also some opportunities for better health and some ideas on predictability right from the microbiome. Fascinating.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, they're looking at the makeup of your microbiome and seeing where you may be susceptible. Crazy.
It's all there. So what can you do today and tomorrow to improve your chances? To
That's
me,
what
it's
people,
not. Go ahead.
no, I said that's what I'm sure people want to know. They're like, hey, let us
Well,
know.
it's not one of those things where you just, like, I saw this popular newscaster beating up people because they wouldn't go get the jab.
Mm,
And in my mind, I'm going, wow, if he knew what you and I know,
mhm.
there's no way he would be making people feel bad or guilty about certain things that they're not or are doing.
Right. And I have to say, you know, that aside, I think when people, because people can be making people feel bad either way, right? If you do or if you don't. I've seen people get shamed on both sides. I think what I'd like to see, and I know you've said this all along, is that what we should be encouraging everybody to be doing is to be getting healthier, right? That's something we can all agree on. So whether you decide to or not at some point in the past or whatever, I think the main point should be, let's just get healthier. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about and be pissed off at people for getting it or for not getting it. Regardless, you're going to have to get healthier. I mean, if we can't change the minds that way, they still have to, their best bet is still to get the healthiest they can and get their microbiome as strong as possible.
Right. Well, okay. So as we have about 4 minutes to go,
Yeah.
here's where my big concern is. And like David, Ruth, we got Donna. Hey, you guys, I'm glad you caught it. Amy, quite a few people are checking in and very interested.
Yeah.
The thing that I will tell them and what I'm sharing with my personal clients is also the damage to that microbiome that is taking place when they listen to some of these people.
Yep.
That's where it just breaks my heart. And the good news is that you can fix it.
Right.
And all of that is really, like Hippocrates said, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food.
Yeah.
And Hippocrates also said that all disease begins in the gut. He knew that over 2,000 years ago.
I know. That is, it's all comes full circle.
So that would be this. So if anyone's concerned or worried, and I know we're talking around, which is so horrible that we have to even talk in vague like this. But with Dr. Sabine, when we put her up on YouTube, we won't have to like hide anything because she's legit. And so if you're a legit scientist and you have the data and peer reviewed and blah 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 that supports it, then YouTube they won't take it down. I've seen certain people who are pretty credible get taken down, and then once they confirm that they were validated, verified, right, then they put it right back up.
Which will be the case with, will absolutely be, if it happened, it would absolutely be the case with Dr. Sabine. So
anyway, my last words that I would share right now is, you guys, I'm very excited to get this information to you. I'm thankful for Dr. Sabine. And I just want to encourage you guys, especially if you know the methodology, right? Eat the way we've been recommending you eat. Those of you who don't know the method, then there's some links you can contact us. You can become a client, all of that, so you can be on the right path. Yeah, so those are my words. What would you like to close with, Barbara?
Wow, I really would just like to say that they're not to be freaked out by what we're saying, right? I think that, some people might be thinking, well, heck, like I said earlier, a lot of people made the best decision that they could at the time, and I think that now more than ever is not to put off what you can do today for tomorrow, right?
Right.
And to get healthier, and really eat in a way that creates health and is a lifestyle. I mean, go for it. Start now.
Right. And that's right. So the things that I would recommend you not do is don't do things that are damaging your microbiome. So if you're
Yes.
drinking, and I've been sharing this on quite a few news stations over the last year, but be mindful of how much alcohol you're consuming, because that can fully disrupt your microbiome. A lot of deep fried fatty foods can create that dysbiosis with your microbiome. Exercise,
yeah.
very
Maybe
important.
Exercise is great. I would say, you know, being careful with taking antibiotics. Be very careful. Don't take that as like a grain of salt. Really be careful with that.
Yeah. And there's more to come because we'll share more. I mean, we're going to give tips. So this is not a, what do you call it, Debbie Downer? Or a
Debbie Downer.
Yeah, Debbie Downer or
Nancy.
Or negative Nancy. Yeah, this is not a Dear John letter, people.
No. We want to be bubbly BK.
That's right. We want to be bubbly. And the good news is coming. That's the good news. So we got Jeff from Maine. What's up there, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen or heard from him in a minute.
All right. So is Jeff a client?
No, years ago he did a challenge. When I first started getting into coaching, we did like a group challenge with Diet Free Life, like years ago. So
all right. Well, Jeff, I'm wondering why he's not your client. What's up with Jeff?
I don't know. I've been
What are you waiting on, Jeff? I'm going, where are people waiting on?
No, there's no reason to wait.
No
good reason to wait, right?
Well, there you go. So it's good, man. I'm so pumped, Barbara.
I know.
I am so pumped. I'm so happy on the inside right now because I know this is going to help a lot of people. And I'm also happy that we are in total alignment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Diet Free Life methodology is like so in alignment. It just makes it that, we're ahead of the curve.
Big time. I mean, when we read all these research papers, all these studies that are coming out, it's like we have the answer. We're holding it. We're cradling it like our baby. You know, it's like we have it.
Well, there you go. Life is good.
Life is good. So your gut's happy. You said you're happy on the inside. So you mean your gut's happy?
Yeah, my gut is very happy. And it will be happier when I get home and cook a nice balanced meal, fat burning meal. So,
ooh, nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, and I appreciate you.
All right. So until the next one, you guys, we'll be back. The next one we'll be back, and we'll have a link so that those of us who are on YouTube, you'll be able to connect with our interview with Dr. Savine. Yeah. And then for those of you who we work with, you'll get the preview tonight or first thing in the morning. And then we'll make it available so that you can share it with family and friends.
Awesome.
All right. So until the next one.
Till the next one, we are.